Fact 30. There's a town in Arizona where mail gets delivered by mule. Supai. Arizona in the Grand Canyon is the only place in the United States where mail is still delivered by mule train. The Havasupai tribe's village sits 8 miles below the canyon rim, accessible only by foot, helicopter, or mule. Mail carriers descend 3,000 feet into the canyon daily with letters, packages, and supplies. The post office has operated since 1896, and residents receive everything from birthday cards to refrigerators via mule. Fact 29. There's a lake in Turkey that has an island with a lake that has an island. Lake Van in Turkey contains an island called Akdamar, which contains a small lake which contains a tiny island. This recursive geography creates an island in a lake on an island in a lake. Lake Van itself is the world's largest soda lake, with water so alkaline that only one fish species survives in it. The lake has no outlet, so minerals concentrate over millennia, creating chemistry harsh enough to dissolve organic matter. Fact 28. There's a town in Greenland painted entirely in bright colors. Ilulissat, Greenland features houses painted in vivid reds, yellows, blues, and greens, creating rainbow streets against white icebergs. The tradition started because bright colors helped residents locate homes during whiteout blizzards. Each color historically indicated the building's function: red for commercial buildings, blue for fish factories, yellow for hospitals, and green for telecommunications. Modern residents maintain the tradition purely for aesthetics. Fact 27. There's a mountain in Bolivia made entirely of silver. Cerro Rico in Potosí, Bolivia supplied half the world's silver for 200 years. Spanish colonizers extracted 60,000 tons of silver from Cerro Rico between 1556 and 1783, and the phrase "worth a Potosí" became synonymous with unimaginable wealth. The mountain is riddled with thousands of mine tunnels, creating a honeycomb interior. Over 8 million miners died extracting silver under brutal conditions during colonial rule. Fact 26. There's a beach in California that's made of broken glass. Glass Beach in Fort Bragg. California consists of smooth, colorful glass pebbles instead of sand. For decades, residents threw garbage directly onto the beach and into the ocean. Decades of wave action tumbled broken glass into smooth, gem-like pebbles. The beach cleanup in the 1960s removed everything except glass fragments, which became a tourist attraction. The sea glass sparkles in the sun, creating a rainbow beach. Fact 25. There's a town in China where everyone is a kung fu master. Chenjiagu village in Henan province is the birthplace of Tai Chi, and virtually every resident practices martial arts daily. The village has 3,000 residents and over 30 martial arts schools where children train from age 4. Elderly residents in their 80s and 90s practice Tai Chi in village squares each morning, demonstrating techniques passed down through 20 generations. The Chen family created Tai Chi in the village during the 1600s. Fact 24. There's a lake in California that's 4 times saltier than the ocean. Mono Lake in California has salinity levels nearly 3 times saltier than seawater. The lake has no outlet, so minerals concentrate as water evaporates, creating bizarre tufa towers of calcium carbonate rising from the water. Alkali flies cover the shoreline in such numbers that indigenous peoples harvested them as food. The lake is so alkaline, it feels slippery like soap, and swimming leaves you covered in a mineral crust. Fact 23. There's a town in Norway built entirely on wooden piers. Rain in Norway's Lofoten Islands consists of houses built on wooden piers extending into the water, because mountains rise directly from the sea, leaving no flat land. The fishing village has existed for over 1,000 years, with buildings perched on stilts above the ocean. Residents access homes via wooden walkways connecting pier to pier, and some houses are only accessible by boat. Houses appear to float on water with mountains as backdrop. Fact 22. There's a desert in Kazakhstan with ancient geoglyphs larger than Nazca lines. The Turgai swath in Kazakhstan contains over 50 massive geoglyphs, geometric earthworks forming squares, crosses, and circles up to 1,200 feet across. The steppe geoglyphs are larger than Peru's Nazca lines, but were discovered only in 2007 via Google Earth because they're invisible from ground level. Archaeologists estimate the earthworks are over 8,000 years old, predating the pyramids. Nobody knows who built them or why. Fact 21. There's a town in Italy where people live in cave houses. Matera, Italy features sassi, ancient cave dwellings carved into limestone cliffs where people have lived continuously for 9,000 years. Entire neighborhoods consist of caves carved into rock faces, with some dwellings extending several rooms deep. The caves were inhabited until the 1950s, when the government relocated residents. After decades of abandonment, the sassi were restored and became UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and people now pay premium prices to live in renovated Stone Age caves. Fact 20. There's a border where countries are separated by a bowling alley. The Haskell Free Library and Opera House on the US-Canada border contains a stage in Canada and an audience in America. Performers enter from Canada, while audience members enter from Vermont, and a black line on the floor marks the international boundary. The building was deliberately constructed straddling the border in 1904. The reading room is in Canada, while the circulation desk is in America, and books circulate across international boundaries. Fact 19. There's a lake in Oregon that appears and disappears seasonally. Lost Lake in Oregon's Mount Hood. National Forest drains completely through a lava tube every summer, transforming from a lake into a dry meadow. The lake fills with snowmelt each spring, then slowly empties through a 6-foot hole in the lake bottom. Scientists threw biodegradable dye into the drain hole and traced it to springs 2 miles away, emerging from underground lava tubes. The lake refills with winter snow and repeats the cycle annually. Fact 18. There's a town in Germany where beer flows through pipes underground. Bayreuth, Germany has underground pipelines transporting beer directly from breweries to festival grounds. The beer pipeline system was built for Wagner Festival celebrations, and breweries pump fresh beer through dedicated underground pipes to taps at festival venues. The system delivers thousands of gallons daily during peak festival season. Similar beer pipelines exist in Bruges, Belgium, where a 2-mile underground pipeline delivers beer from brewery to bottling plant. Fact 17. There's an island where residents communicate by whistling. La Gomera in the Canary Islands developed Silbo Gomero, a whistled language that carries messages up to 2 miles across mountainous terrain. Residents whistle entire conversations with complex grammar and vocabulary. The language was essential before telephones because the island's deep ravines made shouting ineffective. Silbo Gomero is now taught in schools as a mandatory subject, and UNESCO declared it intangible cultural heritage. Fact 16. There's a valley in Pakistan where people live past 100 eating apricots. The Hunza Valley in Pakistan has an unusually high concentration of centenarians, and residents attribute their longevity to apricot-heavy diets. Hunza apricots are eaten fresh, dried, and pressed for oil, and even apricot kernels are consumed. The valley remained isolated for centuries by surrounding mountains, and residents developed unique dietary practices centered on apricots and glacier-fed water. Fact 15. There's a town in Spain where tomatoes are used as weapons. Buñol, Spain hosts La Tomatina, annually, where 20,000 people gather to throw 150,000 tomatoes at each other in history's largest food fight. The tradition started in 1945 when a street brawl escalated near a vegetable stand and participants grabbed tomatoes as projectiles. Trucks dumped tons of overripe tomatoes into streets, and for 1 hour, participants hurled tomatoes at everyone in sight. Fact 14. There's a lake in Wyoming that drains into two different oceans. Isa Lake in Yellowstone sits on the Continental Divide, and its waters flow into both the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans simultaneously. The lake's east shore drains to the Atlantic via the Missouri-Mississippi River system, while the west shore drains to the Pacific via the Snake-Columbia River system. A fish spawning in Isa Lake could theoretically swim to either ocean, depending on which shore it exits from. Fact 13. There's a town in Alaska where everyone lives in a single building. Whittier, Alaska has 220 residents, and nearly all live in Bigich Towers, a 14-story building containing apartments, the school, post office, store, church, and health clinic under one roof. The building was constructed as Cold War military barracks designed so soldiers never needed to go outside during brutal winters. Residents can spend entire winters without leaving the building, and children walk through hallways to attend school. Fact 12. There's a river in Louisiana that flows backwards during hurricanes. The Mississippi River temporarily reverses flow during powerful hurricanes when storm surge from the Gulf of Mexico pushes more water upstream than the river pushes downstream. During Hurricane Katrina, the river flowed backward for several hours as a 28-foot storm surge overwhelmed the river's flow. The phenomenon demonstrates that ocean forces can temporarily overpower even the mighty Mississippi. Fact 11. There's a mountain in Japan where suicides are so common. There are warning signs. Aokigahara Forest at Mount Fuji's base is known as Suicide Forest because it's Japan's most common suicide location, with dozens of bodies discovered annually. The forest is so dense that compasses malfunction due to magnetic iron deposits in volcanic rock. Japanese authorities post signs throughout the forest encouraging people to reconsider, and annual searches find bodies hanging from trees or lying in undergrowth. Fact 10. There's a town in Morocco made entirely of blue buildings. Chefchaouen, Morocco is painted entirely in shades of blue. Walls, doors, streets, and staircases glow in azure, sky blue, and turquoise. The tradition started in the 1930s when Jewish refugees painted buildings blue for religious reasons, and the practice continued after they left. The entire town maintains the tradition, repainting buildings blue every few years. The monochromatic cityscape creates surreal scenes where everything appears in endless shades of blue. Fact 9. There's a lake in Canada that's home to the world's largest concentration of snakes. The Narcissa snake dens in Manitoba host tens of thousands of red-sided garter snakes that hibernate together in underground dens. Each spring, up to 70,000 snakes emerge simultaneously, creating a writhing carpet of snakes covering roads and fields. Males emerge first and wait for females, creating massive mating balls of hundreds of snakes tangling together. Visitors walk among thousands of snakes during mating season. Fact 8. There's a town in Austria where you can see 3 countries from one spot. The tri-point where Austria, Hungary, and Slovakia meet is marked by a unique 3-sided monument where each face points to a different country. Visitors stand at the exact point where 3 nations converge, and locals set up picnic tables across borders so families dine with each person in a different country. During the Cold War, this innocent meeting point was heavily fortified, but now it's a quirky tourist attraction. Fact 7. There's a beach in the Maldives that glows blue at night. Vadhu Island features bioluminescent phytoplankton that create an electric blue glow when disturbed by movement. Walking on the beach creates glowing blue footprints, and waves crash in neon blue surf that looks computer-generated. The phenomenon comes from dinoflagellates, microscopic organisms that produce light through chemical reactions when stressed. The glowing occurs unpredictably depending on plankton blooms. Fact 6. There's a mountain. That's the graveyard for 200 frozen climbers. Mount Everest's death zone, above 26,000 feet, contains approximately 200 corpses that serve as landmarks for climbers. Bodies remain perfectly preserved in the ice, and recovering them is so dangerous that most are left where they fell. Green Boots, a deceased climber in bright green boots, marks a cave on the northeast ridge route. The frozen bodies serve as grim reminders of Everest's dangers. Fact 5. There's a town in Canada heated by an abandoned mine. Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, pipes hot water from flooded coal mines 1,200 feet underground to heat municipal buildings and homes. The abandoned mines maintain constant 64 degrees Fahrenheit temperatures, and heat pumps extract warmth to heat the town during Canadian winters. The system converts a former fossil fuel source into renewable geothermal heating, and the town cut heating costs by 90% while eliminating carbon emissions. Fact 4. There's a lake in Serbia that appears only when it rains. Zasavica Special Nature Reserve contains a lake that exists only after heavy rainfall, then disappears into underground channels within weeks. The ephemeral lake appears unpredictably, fills with fish seemingly from nowhere, attracts migratory birds, then vanishes, leaving dry ground. Scientists believe fish eggs lie dormant in mud, hatching when water returns. The lake's appearance follows no set pattern. Fact 3. There's a town in Bolivia where dinosaurs are part of daily life. Cal Orco, near Sucre, Bolivia features a cliff face containing over 5,000 dinosaur footprints from 68 million years ago. The footprints cover a wall 300 feet high and 3,900 feet long, representing the largest collection of dinosaur tracks on Earth. The prints were created in mud that later turned to stone. Then tectonic uplift rotated the former mudflat to vertical position. Residents live beside the cliff where children play near ancient tracks. Fact 2. There's an island where horses swim in the ocean daily. Assateague Island off Maryland and Virginia is home to feral horses that wade into the ocean to graze on salt marsh grasses. The horses swim between islands, dive underwater to reach submerged vegetation, and drink seawater supplementing freshwater intake. Nobody knows exactly how horses arrived on the island. Legend claims Spanish shipwrecks. The swimming horses have become iconic, and tourists photograph them galloping through surf. Fact 1. There's a valley in Peru where stone trees grow from the ground. The stone forest of Huaylay in Peru contains rock formations that look exactly like petrified trees standing upright. Over 4,000 stone trees rise from the ground, some reaching 65 feet tall, created by volcanic ash that solidified, then eroded into tree-like shapes over millions of years. The formations are so tree-like that they have bark texture, branches, and even knots. The formations cover 16 square miles at 14,000 feet elevation. Which geography fact completely destroyed your understanding of reality? Drop your answer in the comments and subscribe for more facts about our bizarre planet.